Step inside my twisted world where heroes will collide. Villains aren't the only evil, there are no fucking sides. Every match will test their stats, every loss and win are weighed. Any chance they thought they had could all end up in vain on Combo Breaker.
When making a villain for any form of media, two tropes seem to reign supreme: the king and the monster.
So obviously, to make a truly great villain, you should combine these two tropes to make a king of the monsters. No, not that one. At least not this episode, anyway. Gygas, can you kick Godzilla out of the recording studio so we can finish?
Okay then. Well, from there you're gonna take your pick of personality traits, whether it's a backstory to make your villain seem super sympathetic, or an over-the-top personality to make them a charismatic and even goofy villain, while still somehow being unstoppable. And boom, you've just made yourself a 90s video game villain.
And today's two combatants are the pinnacle of this concept. We're of course talking about Bowser, the tyrannical turtle king of the Koopas and bane of the Mario Brothers from Super Mario.
And Dracula, the ancient dark lord of the monsters and bane of the Belmont bloodline from Castlevania. I'm Grifflepuff, your badass and nerdy host.
And I'm Nameless Co-Host. Yes, that's actually my name, at least till this asshole comes up with something better.
And today, we're going to overanalyze these two retro monster kings who have been fighting the same family for decades to find out who would win in a fight to the bitter end. But before we do that, we should probably address what we'll be using for both characters, since they have several appearances across several forms of media.
Oh yeah, well for Bowser we'll be using...
Ahem! This looks like a job for a Reginald Ghost the Researcher. As the man behind the research, I, Reggie, shall go over what we will and won't be using for each combatant.
You know what? Fuck it. Go ahead, Reggie. You can deal with the continuity stuff and get yelled at in the comments when we leave out some weird obscure game that's actually canon.
With pleasure, my colleagues. So for Bowser, all of his game appearances will be counted with the exception of non-canon games like Super Smash Bros. So that means no cartoon, no live-action movie, and no manga. Although I don't think those are going to affect the outcome very much. Just call it a hunch, but something tells me that the Nostalgia Bowser won't be winning any fights.
Oh yeah, I mean he's not gonna need it to take down Dracula's pale ass.
As for Dracula, we will use all of his game appearances with the exception of the rebooted timeline, because that Dracula is like a former Belmont, he's linked to Satan, and it's just too fucking weird and different compared to standard Dracula. On top of that, we won't be counting any anime-only feats or abilities, and it should go without saying, but we won't be including Smash Brothers or Captain N for Dracula either. But then again, it's like Captain N was gonna give him anything good when he's up against gender-bent Bowsette. Now, with what Reggie said in mind, I do want to mention I will be using anime footage throughout this episode because it, 1, looks badass, 2, it gives some great visual representation of Dracula's powers, and 3, do you really want to look at this kind of artwork or this amazingly animated anime? Yeah, that's what I thought. But enough talk, we have an analysis to do.
I hate to burst your bubble. Nah, no, fuck it. I love to burst your bubble. We're starting with Bowser's analysis.
You ruined my Castlevania reference. Just go ahead and get on with your stupid Bowser analysis.